Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 104. We're discussing episodes 981 to 984. Now, if you're really curious, though, how much the manga is covered in these 4 episodes, well, they start off with chapter 977, and we conclude with basically 979, kind of. And what do I mean by kind of? Well, that's technically how far it goes to 378. Actually, well, there's some chapters that pages skip over. Yeah, they would do this for some reason. I do not know the reason why they did this, where they would just adapt like a beginning portion and a little bit later on and skip and basically the middle portion or next episode. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird at the time. Now, now in these episodes, we start a plot thread that is still an ongoing thing: the raid on Ungashima. So basically, we start out right after the last episode where Jinbei is now officially joined the Straw Hats. So that will happen. See him, of course, they basically decide to raid the fortress. And of course, they come with the ingenious plan. Everybody just meet up on Law. So he's like feels so annoyed by it. So Kid and Luffy gotta go ahead. They probably don't know the full details of the plan. In fact, they never thought about the whole plan. So the plan is simple. We split the team samurai in 2 forces. Well, on the ground, they explain this. Well, one is led by Keen, the other is led by Donjiro. Yep. And, it's me. So, pretty much basically like, and of course, the remaining samurai, well, remaining members of the basically the scabbards, the retainers of the Odin clan, they'll go with Law to the back of the island to raid the main castle. And according to Law, he calls Kid and Luffy idiots. And of course, Kiku mistakenly believes that Law and Luffy are friends. They're just basically partners in this operation. Luffy may feel differently about it. So Luffy and his group decide to basically destroy the fortress, the little mini fortress at the beginning. Yeah, and this is directly from the manga. Like, it took a while to get here. Like, from the manga perspective, it took a freaking long time to get here. Like, this took like over a year to get here in terms of manga. In terms of the anime, well, this took, believe it or not, almost 100 episodes to get to this point. Yes, so in terms of the anime, it took almost 2 years, while manga was 1 year. Well, yeah, it was like a little over a year, about a year and a half. Basically, that longer was the anime, like stretching stuff out. So, pretty much in the way, like, after they try to drink, and of course they try to welcome Jinbei to the crew, but they set the drinks down, and they go participate in the raid and have a full party afterwards. So, they go inside, and of course they get there, and then of course, the samurai have their ships. Now, Kid is there too, don't know where his ship is, so they get there, and of course Keen's like, y'all ready? Take out your tools. And then they proceed to smash up and sink the ships and attempt to hide them. And because they figure no turning back, because they think it's, from their perspective, they think it's a suicide mission to participate in this. And of course, they want the revenge for 20 years in the past. What happened 20 years? That's why these samurai here, these 5,000 samurai against like 30,000 beast pirates. Or with else, like a combined might of basically 10 straw hats, like a half dozen kid pirates, and like about a dozen members of the heart pirates. So they go in, and of course, then they have this thing where, they have this, like, first they have Usopp knock out some guards as soon as they go in. Yes, knock out some guards. Really easily for anybody spots them. Yeah, these 3 guards just knocks them unconscious really quickly. And they go inside, and they go on this bridge, and then, of course, knows, more beast pirates. They're like, what's going on here? Well, it turns out Kinemon is doing his ability, his disguise thing. So At first, he doesn't use disguise, and apparently, he's like, he went back and basically did disguise himself. So we see Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats, and we see, looks like that Nami, Robin, and even Carrot looks like they're wearing bikinis. Yes. So they all wear these Now, here's the strange thing though. Zoro, the only change for him was that he loses his coat he has in exchange for the cape he gets and the horns. Luffy, I think, loses his shirt, and he exchanged his shirt for gloves. Yes, he gets gloves, which is something Luffy doesn't usually normally wear very much. He never wears gloves. Yeah, so... and of course, Kid's like, what the heck is this? It's so funny. See him go through, and of course, they all go to the same place. And of course, Kinemon just sees him, and of course, here's the thing: Kinemon has never met Captain Kid before. He does not know anything about him. It's like, oh, you must be fellow pirate, must not know each other. Now you might be thinking, okay, when was the first time Luffy ever met Captain Kid? That's a very easy question to answer. They first met at Sabaody at the auction house. Well, in the actual Sabaody, original Sabaody arc. That is where they first met. And that was the very same arc that also introduced Captain Kidd, Killer, and, of course, Trafalgar Law and his crew. Yeah, that's where they're all introduced. Right there. And, of course, Luffy has known him since then. Luffy doesn't trust Joggy. He doesn't have a problem with Trafalgar Law very much. He doesn't like Joggy very much. He calls him Joggy just like he calls Trafalgar Law Traffy. And here's the thing. The only person in the Strike Pirates who calls Trafalgar Law Traffy is Robin. And apparently Kiku calls Trafalgar Law Traffy too. I'm not sure. Now, that one I don't get. At least Robin makes sense because she knows Luffy. But Kiku, a woman who is probably not known Luffy very, very long, I'd say Luffy has probably known Kiku for about 2 or 3 weeks. Unlike Robin, who's known Luffy for over 2 years. Yep. But this so far just really... Of course, they get in there, and right afterwards, they get to the performance floor. Well, Luffy and Zoro get there. So we have Frankie take out the motorcycle and the tank. The tank is basically... The occupants are Usopp, Chopper, Nami, Carrot, Shinobu, which is Sanji on top, and Frank gets right at his motorcycle. He hoped Rob would join him, but nope. Basically, Brooke joins him for bromance. He's like, nothing wrong with that. And we have Jinbei and Robin just walking. Yes, they are walking there. And they're seen in the distance by Yamato when she's in the mask. Yes, they refer to her Yamato as a boy. This, by fact, it's clearly a girl. Now, we're also introduced in episode 93 to the Top Belt Pirates, made up of Uti, Page 1, Who's Who, Black Maria, Satsuki, and X-Drake. X-Drake and Page 1 were introduced part of this. X-Drake was introduced back in Sabaody arc. Page 1 was introduced a little while before this. They referenced his fight with Soul Mask, aka Sanji. And then so we're introduced to the actual characters. Now, the other characters introduced here is one of the numbers, Jockey, who does have an English dub actor named Afi Koi. And boy, there are more. Uti herself was voiced by Christina Kelly. And here's the strange thing about Christina Kelly. The first list of anime listed on the Wikipedia page for her is Akame ga Kill, which I have seen. I've done a review of that series. And get this, she's 31 years old. She's about 3 years younger than me. And aside from that one anime, is there any other anime I've seen with her in it? Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I've also seen her in Chainsaw Man. There's Michiko Tendo. Yep. So this is the third anime I've come across where Uti is an absolute great character. She is also so funny, and of course she's Page 1's sister. Sasaki is voiced by Heath Morrow. I don't know who he is, honestly. Alright, then we have Black Maria, who's voiced by Alec Peckard, who is somebody who actually hasn't done much for anime voice acting. You're thinking, really? Yeah, really. Allegedly, she was retired, but she came back. But here's the thing. Her only anime credits, aside from this series, was in Yokai Watch, Remand, and the Vampire Dies in No Time. Mostly put, she's known for voicing stuff in American anime. She's more of an anime voice actor than she is basically voicing dubs. Here's the shows she was in. Hungry Hungry Hippos, Join the Soup, Chop Kick Panda, Little Angels, An Okay Pace to Eat, The Tom and Jerry Show's Toodles, yes, The Extraordinary Adventures of Poppy the Cat, Pixel, Hollow Games, Olivia, The Mr. Men Show, and this will surprise you, Rugrats. Yes, she guest starred in an episode of Rugrats. And it's Pony. Yeah. And for film, she was in Okay Watch the Movie, Fruit Basket Prelude, and Lupin the Third versus Cat's Eye. And she's done some video game stuff too. There's not really a lot for her, which is interesting. And of course, Black Mario herself doesn't do much anything at this point till a little bit later. Yeah, not until not for quite a while when she takes on Sanji and now, what about Who's Who? He is a character who later fights Jean later on. He is voiced by Regan Marduk. There is also Poker, he's one of the gifters. He is voiced by Matthew Ekins. There's also Koshiro and Marzuki. Koshiro does not have a dub actor because basically he's a monkey. Mizuki. No credit yet per se for this one. Yeah, the gorilla outfit looks like he's coming out of the body, which is really weird. There's also Fortrix. Hamlet, who does play a role currently in the arc. And Barsika. Yep. Yeah, so... And of course they're there because they're here for Yamato. And of course something for, well... Kaido. They do mention Big Mom here. Why she's not here? Well, she's trying to put on her Komodo. And of course that's taking a long time. So, then of course we have, well, Luffy and Zoro on the performance floor. First, see Zoro who's looking for Luffy, and of course he gets some liquor. Then, of course, they think he's overdoing it, and of course he knocks out some of the patrons. Oh yeah, they're just basically drunk. Don't worry about them. Luffy, of course, gets upset, like, "Ooh, nice, cool food," and he hears about, "Oh, this is from the pleasure. This is from the Paradise Farm, made only for us, not for those Wano people." And there's flashbacks to the leftover village. And also, Luffy gets covered in bean soup. Well, red bean soup. And of course, there's also people tipping over pot this stuff, which does kind of play a little bit in this portion, like a very small part here. Yep. So this portion of the arc is known as infiltration. Next comes the action battle itself. Luffy also sees, well, Queen here too, and, well, we're beginning to basically the groundwork for basically what we see for the actual raid and the big, humongous battle. And by the way, this is going on now at this point because they arrive at the island in 981, and they're still there. Yes, they have been in this island now for over 100 episodes. This small island. Now, the last time they spent on an island for over 100 episodes was Dressrosa. But look at, let's say, in the case of, how should I put this? When they're on the island of Wano itself, they were there. Like, if you don't count the flashback episodes, which you probably included, on Wano itself, they were there from episode. They basically first show up in the anime. With episode like 880, I think it was like 880 something. So at this point, we're basically on for about 100 episodes, And we're still going on right now with this particular raid. Yep. But right now, all the major fights are wrapping up right now. There's a lots of plot threads we're going to start here soon. But right now we're at the infiltration part. This will conclude really quickly once the big upscale, once the actual battle itself starts up. And of course, basically, we see a lot of people taken out through, of course, this arc. It is an epic, epic arc. Yep. So yeah, that's episode of you. Next episode, Comic Corner is on the Martial Magic and Muscles. Okay, next video. Bye.